In this video, we're going to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program round 2, and this is going to be an update for July the 28th. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner, helping you reach your financial goals. So last night, the Republican senators unveiled a proposal for the next stimulus package, and one of those proposals was the second round for the Paycheck Protection Program at a rate of revenues down 50% or more to qualify for the round 2. So it was unveiled by Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, and what he said was that this is going to target those businesses that are even smaller than the first round. So they're bringing that 500 employee headcount down to 300 employees or less. And they're also going to go with a 50% or more reduction in the revenue. Now, the problem with this is if you're a business that was down 49% or 48%, you might actually not qualify for additional paycheck protection money. And the more that I think about how this second proposal is being rolled out, the more I realize that it's really flawed that it doesn't have a provision where it is a phase out. So if you're at that 49% revenue down or even 45 or 40%, that you don't qualify or potentially don't qualify at this point for any of the second round of the Paycheck Protection Program money. Now, another thought is if you have a competitor that you've been ahead of all of this time and you're competing, well, at this point, they might have an edge because their revenues might have gotten a little bit more hit than your revenues, and maybe you don't qualify for the second round of the Paycheck Protection Program. And it was also in line with some of the business decisions that you may or may not have made earlier in this year. So your revenues were down, but the other revenues could have been down because you made the decision to close your business. And maybe your business was closed because of regulations and maybe your area closed down. But if you had that decision to stay open, or if you had that decision to do a little bit of maybe online business, depending on what business you're in, or go into a different part of business, transforming your business, basically doing maybe takeout or online delivery or online orders, any of those things to get a little bit more of an income, that actually could hurt you for the second round of the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, if you're one of those businesses that had a 50% or more reduction in your revenue and you qualify, that's great. Go ahead and apply and help your business get through this. But if you're not below that threshold, your business did a little bit better than 50% down, which is still a really hard pill to swallow. Well, then now you need to figure out how you're going to make ends meet. And then what about those businesses that were closed down, but then had the opportunity to reopen and they got right back in it? So they were increasing their revenues because they're doing business again. That actually might have hurt the business in getting the second round of Paycheck Protection Program money. And now that the coronavirus is kind of getting worse, or that's what it sounds like, it's going to make it even that much more difficult for that business who's been struggling and trying to reopen. Getting those revenues up as much as possible could potentially be hurt by doing that for the next round of the Paycheck Protection Program. Well, the stimulus packages and the Paycheck Protection Program is meant to help those businesses who were affected by the coronavirus to no fault of their own. At the same instance, we might find that some businesses that were at that 49, 48, or even 45% in revenues down end up going out of business when the business that was down over 50% can get that second round, might actually be able to survive. And one more point about the Paycheck Protection Program before I jump over to the other areas of the proposed stimulus package that could help your small business. What about the small businesses that have different margins or different overhead costs? If you're all of a sudden doing a lot more business on lower margins, well, that's revenue, but it doesn't account for the lower margin. And maybe that is affecting your business even more. So it's very difficult. So I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of how the Paycheck Protection Program is structured and who qualifies and whether or not your business will qualify or not, and how it'll affect you. Now, there are other areas of the next stimulus package proposal that could help your small business. So the first one that I want to talk about, aside from the Paycheck Protection Program, is going to look at the liability protection. So that is going to have some sort of a mechanism to prevent what they're calling frivolous lawsuits against your business. And this is to eliminate the bad actors. So they really want to make sure that, yes, there's going to be lawsuits, but what they don't want is frivolous lawsuits. Because Senator Cornyn from Texas was talking about, if you even get sued and you win, you could still go out of business because the cost of defense is a lot of money. So it's hopefully going to make it so you can open successfully. And as long as you stick to the protocols, that you can open and have a chance at survival for your small business. But they made an emphasis on that as well, that as long as you're doing the protocols for cleanliness and all the other parameters that are probably going to roll out, which could help you, would also make it so you have liability protection. And then Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina, talked about having 100% meal deduction for businesses. So this could help the restaurant industry significantly. And he was talking about how heavily impacted, and I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, how heavily impacted the restaurant industry has been. And depending on what kind of small business you have, the unemployment insurance is being greatly reduced to 70%, or that's what the proposal is going to be. So we'll see how that rolls out. But for small businesses, that could make it a little bit easier to fill vacant jobs and get your business back up and running. In addition, it looks like there was going to be support for the PPE. So you have additional costs in providing that PPE to your employees. This could be offset through different mechanisms, whether they're tax credits or subsidies. That is still unclear exactly how that's going to be rolled out at this point, but it looks like there was going to be additional assistance to keep your business safe. And let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Paycheck Protection Program rollout and some of these other provisions. Will it help? Will it hurt your business? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.